Well, hey there, everyone. It's Mrs. Asaro here with another First Chapter Friday. I'm so excited to bring you a Christmas read for the month of December. It's a really great story, and it is called The 12 Dares of Christa by Marissa Burt. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that you have your First Chapter Friday freebie that I'll attach in the description of the video. It's a really great thing to print and keep track of the books that you're hearing so that when you're ready for your next read, you have something to refer to. Let's hear a little bit about the story before we begin. Christa is a holiday junkie. What's not to love? There's decorations, exchanging gifts, caroling, and hot cocoa, the spirit of hope. But thanks to her parents' recent separation, Krista's favorite time of year is now filled with heartache. And when her mom announces that she is taking her on a trip to Europe over winter vacation, Krista knows she should be excited. She just can't imagine spending the yuletide season away from home and without her dad. However, waiting at her hotel in Italy is a special package from her father, the first of 12 dares that take Christa to landmarks in 3 beautiful countries and introduce her to people who will show her that hope is still alive in the strangest of places. Okay, so we're going to read through chapter 1 together, and it is not titled. It just has some little decor around it, okay? Pour the eggnog, I say as I come down the stairs late in the afternoon. I've finished the list, and you both better prepare yourselves. Prepare ourselves? Mom looks up from the sofa where she's reading through her latest script. I don't think we have eggnog, Dad's voice comes from inside the open refrigerator, followed by the sound of cartons being rearranged on the shelves. Don't even play. I flop my stack of papers down on the kitchen table with a thump. I know it's in there. Pumpkin eggnog. Dad pops his head out from the fridge, studying the jug of deliciousness. I didn't even know they made pumpkin eggnog. They make pumpkin everything. I pulled 3 glasses down from the cabinet. It is, after all, November 1st. Is it? Mom said in a distracted voice. It's warm for November. Yeah, Dad says thoughtfully, and we haven't even had a real snowstorm yet. Come on, you guys, have you forgotten? November 1st? I wonder if they're just giving me a hard time. No way they don't remember that the first day of November is when we see the best Christmas plan ever into motion. I glance back and forth between them, but Mom immersed in her play and Dad stares at me blankly for just a second too long. Then he visibly jolts. Of course, November 1st. He hands me the unopened carton and laughs sheepishly. I guess with how busy it's been and Halloween and everything, I kind of forgot. Very funny, Dad. I wave the papers I'm holding at him. I pulled out our plans from last year and tweaked them a little so we can have all our Chicago Christmas fun early since, we'll be in Europe on Christmas Day. I can never talk about that part without shouting because, well, Europe. Great idea. We really should hammer out some of the details. Mom tosses her script onto the ottoman and joins us in the kitchen. Your dad and I wanted to have a family powwow tonight anyway. She gives Dad a funny look. Maybe we should order pizza first. Ooh, yes, we'll need fortification. I pour the eggnog for everyone. Make it an extra large pizza surprise, okay? Are you sure? Dad gives me a weak laugh and reaches for his phone. Last time the surprise was olives and pickles. Come on, Dad, I say. Live a little. And while we're waiting for the delivery guy to get here, I can show you the best Christmas plan ever for this year. I might need something stronger to go with the eggnog, Mom mutters under her breath and reaches for the coffee pot. I heard that. I settle in at the table and wait for them to join me. Okay, Dad says once the order is placed. He turns to Mom. Do you? He begins, but Mom shakes her head slightly and grips her mug of steaming coffee even tighter. Let's have Krista show us what she's been working on first. Then we can talk. I ignore how weird they're being because we have more important things to get settled, like Christmas plans. Right, so it's basically the stuff we do every year. I hand out the pages I've been fiddling with all afternoon. I spend the most time on the little sketches I've drawn in charcoal across the top of each page, a gingerbread house, reindeer pulling a sleigh, and a giant Christmas tree. I just bumped it all up a few weeks so that we can make sure we don't miss anything. I run my finger down the list. Our big Black Friday campout will be the day after Thanksgiving, obviously, and then the first 2 weeks in December, we'll need to squeeze in the decorating, putting up the tree, making cookies, more shopping, ice skating. I trail off once I see that Mom and Dad aren't reading along. Instead, they're looking intently at me. Again with the weirdness, I drop my sheet. What? What did I say? Mom's eyes grow all watery, and Dad stares down at his hands. Krista, Dad finally says, really slowly, Christmas is going to be a little different this year. Oh, I totally get that, I say, a wave of relief flooding me. Is that what they're worried about? That I'm going to be bummed about spending Christmas in Europe? Not likely. I just figured we could do all the new Europe stuff and our usual traditions too. I mean, I know none of the plans are guarantees. Mom may be super busy with her play performances when we're in Europe, or we might not be able to get a tree put up in the hotel, or... Dad clears his throat. This time there's no mistaking the weirdness. He's starting to cry too. I drop my papers and lean back in my chair. What? What is it? Krista, we have something we need to tell you, Mom says, it like she's doing the voiceover for a sad moment in one of her commercials, except it's not an acting scene. It's my life. We're getting a divorce. I feel like I did the day in PE when Travis Rogers threw a ball right at me and I didn't dodge quickly enough. All my breath is gone, and I literally might barf all over the table. Before anyone can say anything else, the doorbell rings and Dad reaches for his wallet. I guess I'd better get that. Leave it, Adam, Mom says without looking away from my face. It's quiet for a minute and Dad clears his throat. We've been thinking a long time about this, really trying to work it out, but we've come to the realization that we just aren't compatible anymore. I stare at Dad. His words are English, but it's like I still need a translator. What does he mean? How can a family just stop being compatible with one another? The doorbell rings again, more insistently this time, and Dad gets to his feet. Hold that thought. Mom jumps in while Dad is gone. We want things to be good for all of us. We want to be done with the fighting. She gives a shaky laugh. We really always were better friends than anything. I'm hearing her words, but they aren't computing. How is this possible? For my parents, I know kids whose parents are divorced. Heck, half of my class has some kind of quirky step-family thing going on, but seriously? My parents, the ones who used to dance together in the kitchen like some cheesy couple out of a movie? The ones who laugh at all the same stupid cat memes? The ones who went to Florence a couple of years ago for their 15-year anniversary? Mom is saying more, something about growing and becoming different people and wanting different things. Different things, I manage, and my voice comes out all choked. I realize I'm crying, the hot tears unstoppable. You don't want our family anymore? I don't believe this. How can they not want us to be together? Oh, honey, Mom says, her voice cracks. She unclasps her fingers and reaches for mine, but my hand sits like a frozen lump under hers. Of course we want our family. We love you so much, Christa. She glances over at Dad, who is standing in the doorway. Both of us do, and whatever else changes, this will always be the same. It's really important that you hear us say that. Dad sets the pizza box down and slides into the chair closest to me, and that you hear that it's not your fault. Our decision is because of us, not you. We tried to make it work, but really we feel that this divorce will be the best thing for our family. My body is catching up with my brain. Not my fault? What is that supposed to mean? The blood rushes to my flushed cheeks, and I can tell my heart is pounding fast. The speechless shock has turned into a hard knot of anger. I want to tell them to shut up, to shout at them that they can't mean what they're saying. If they loved me, they wouldn't be doing this, and if they cared about us, they wouldn't break us apart. There's no way splitting up our family is best for our family. But I can't make myself say anything because trying to stop crying has turned into ugly hiccups. Why? I force the words out. I don't understand. Why don't you want us to be together anymore? Dad sighs and opens his mouth, but Mom interrupts. Let me answer. She turns to me. It's something that's been coming on for a long time. I don't want you to worry about the details. That's too much of a load to put on a kid's shoulder. Believe me, I know. She's told me before how Gramps and Grams divorced when she was a teenager, how hard it was, which is another reason I never thought it would happen to my parents. Mom licks her lips and takes a deep breath. You just have to trust us that we're doing what we think is best. Mom didn't answer my question. I reached for my eggnog, trying to gulp away the huge lump in my throat. I want to run upstairs to my room, grab my old ratty teddy bear, and tunnel under the covers before the sobs escape. But I know Mom and Dad will just follow me up there, and I really might explode if I have to look into their super concerned faces anymore. Besides, sobbing with a teddy bear is so not how 13-year-olds are supposed to respond to news like this. I mean, I'm old enough to get the fact that people break up sometimes, and I'm totally old enough to notice that things haven't exactly been wonderful around here lately. Something clicks into place. Wait, what about Europe? What about Christmas? My hiccups are gone. Even my voice sounds hard. Dad exchanges a look with Mom. You guys are going to get some mother-daughter time in Europe, he says in a fake, cheerful voice. You're not coming? I shove my seat away from Dad's and stand up, knocking over my glass in the process. I glare at Mom. Seriously? You're going to make him stay here? We, Dad says, emphasizing the we, think it might be helpful to do something different this year, especially for the holidays. I don't want to listen to them anymore. I don't want to think about what they're saying. I stare down at my ruined plans, the pages now covered in a thick layer of eggnog, but they're blurring with more tears, and I feel about 4 years old and really wish I could go get a hug from them. But it's them who are the problem this time. How long have you known? They don't answer that question either. It's okay to feel angry, Christa, Dad says, hunching his shoulders over the table as though he can draw near to me with his words. How long, I ask. Since August, Mom says. August. 3 months ago. We decided in August, Dad says, but we only signed the divorce papers yesterday. He says it like it somehow makes it better. We didn't want to tell you right before the school year started. We thought the holidays could be sort of a transition. They are saying more, something about always being friends, about it being mutual and how we can all make it work, but I'm still stuck on divorce papers. Divorce, divorce, divorce. It's like my brain is replaying it over and over, so it can sink in. Chris, Mom asked, her voice pitched slightly higher. Are you okay, honey? Say something. Don't push her, Dad says, his voice tight. Mom gets all stiff and begins to pick at her napkin, shredding its edges into little balls of paper. A transition to what? I ask in a wooden voice. My friend Carrie's parents live in the same neighborhood, so she can just flop back and forth whenever. But Emily's family isn't like that. Her dad only sees her on holidays, and then there is my BFF, Danny, who has about 50,000 Thanksgiving dinners to attend because of all the step relations. I get that divorce is kind of normal. After all, Carrie and Emily and Danny are totally fine. I just never thought it would happen to me. But it is happening, like for real. Mom and Dad have it all planned. They lay out the details, and it seems every sentence is peppered with the word divorce. After the divorce, Mom's going to sign a lease on a new apartment in the Loop so she can be closer to the theater district. The divorce lawyer suggested that Dad keep the town house. I'll live with Dad during the week, so even after the divorce, I'll be able to stay at the same school, and then I'll go to the city on the weekends and school breaks to be with Mom. Divorce, divorce, divorce. You know how sometimes you can say a word over and over, and after a while it starts to lose its meaning? Well, not so much with divorce. No matter how many times I hear divorce, the meaning stays the same because that word changes everything. That is the end of Chapter 1 of the 12 Dares of Christa. It is a little bit heartfelt. It's very realistic, but it's very sweet and hopeful, and I think it's a story that you're going to love. If you have any stories that you would like to hear on my First Chapter Friday channel, please be sure to drop a comment, and I'll do my best to make it happen. Until then, happy reading, and I'll see you next Friday.